Ladies and gentlemen, EastEnders fan. EastEnders has confirmed that the war between Elaine Peacock and Ian Beale heats up next week, as the fierce opponents start a physical fight on the square. When Elaine secures a free venue thanks to George, her campaign appears to be on the up, and she relishes the chance to rub it in Ian's smug face. Elaine wastes no time in lording it over Ian, says our EastEnders insider. She wants to show Walford that they'd be better off with a Peacock in power, but Ian's thwarting her plan. She's completely lost patience for his games, but she doesn't expect a fight. The next step of Elaine's campaign faces a disappointing setback when she realizes the venue she'd secured to speak to the residents of Walford has been double booked. When the venue cancels on her, Elaine is devastated that her moment to shine has been ruined. But the wannabe counselor finds a surprising shoulder to cry on when ex-hubby George offers her support during her setback. As Elaine expresses that this was her chance to prove she can still be a landlady to the people of Walford, even though she's no longer behind the bar of the Vic, her words strike a chord. Elaine's vulnerability really moves George, explains our source. There's a part of him that still feels responsible for Elaine losing the pub, and along with that her spotlight. So he makes a gesture of goodwill, proving he still cares. Feeling bad for his former love, George tells Elaine she can have his new restaurant, Night Fusion, as her venue, and she can have it completely free. Elaine is delighted by the news, giving her a surge of determination to make her campaign a success. However, the news doesn't go down well with Ian, who believes she now has an unfair advantage. Elaine jumps at the chance to prove to Ian that her campaign is thriving and rubs the news in his face. But her smug attitude soon backfires. Frothing with anger, Ian insults Elaine and the pair end up in a tussle. The situation spirals out of hand, and although we can't reveal the outcome of their spat, pictures from later in the week show Ian arriving with a rather lazy piece offering fish and chips. Will Elaine be swayed by a free fish supper? Or will their rivalry continue to simmer until the votes are counted? The cobbled streets of Walford are set to ignite as EastEnders gears up for an explosive new chapter. The simmering feud between Elaine and Ian is about to boil over. For months, tension has crackled between the two, subtle digs and cutting remarks slowly escalating. But now the quiet resentment is set to erupt into full-blown drama, leaving viewers at the edge of their seats. It all begins at the Queen Vic, where a seemingly innocuous conversation spirals out of control. Elaine, ever fiery and unafraid to speak her mind, confronts Ian over his latest questionable decisions, cutting through his excuses like a knife. Ian, stubborn and prideful, refuses to back down. The air is thick with animosity, each word exchanged heavier than the last. Patrons watch in silence, sensing that this is no ordinary argument. Something monumental is about to happen. From whispered threats to slamming doors, EastEnders doesn't hold back in showing just how far old grudges can go. A chance encounter in the market sees the pair collide again, this time with tempers flaring and accusations flying. The fight scenes are raw and unfiltered, emphasizing every shove, every yell, and the sharpness of betrayal. Cinematic camera angles capture Elaine's frustration and Ian's defiance, highlighting the intensity of their emotional war. What makes this feud so gripping isn't just the physical confrontations, it's the history behind it. Years of misunderstandings, clashing egos, and unspoken grievances all come to a head, revealing vulnerabilities that even the toughest of Walford residents struggle to conceal. Fans are given glimpses into their past interactions, adding layers to the animosity and making every slap of dialogue resonate with authenticity. The tension escalates further when family and friends inevitably get caught in the crossfire. Loved ones try to mediate, only to be met with resistance, pulling more characters into the storm. The writing cleverly balances high-octane drama with emotional depth, ensuring that each fight scene is not just spectacle, but a reflection of the complicated web of relationships in Walford. As the feud intensifies, viewers are treated to cliffhangers that leave the outcome uncertain. Who will gain the upper hand? Can reconciliation even be on the table, or is this the beginning of a permanent rift? EastEnders promises that the answers won't come easily, and when they do, the impact will ripple across the square in ways no one expects. In this latest twist, EastEnders proves once again why it's the beating heart of British soap drama. With Elaine and Ian's feud set to dominate screens, the stage is perfectly set for some of the most dramatic, emotionally charged, and visually stunning fight scenes the square has ever seen. Walford may never be the same again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.